Hi, welcome to this video. We're looking at one way the rich see money that the poor don't. Look at this burger. If you got this burger for $1,000, do you think that is overpaying for the burger? Maybe yes. But the principle that the rich view money that the poor don't is the value of the service or the product you're getting is always higher than the money you're paying for. So to a rich man, this burger is still valuable than the $1,000 you just paid for it. It doesn't matter how much you paid for it. The burger, it's the product, it's the service, it's what you eat, it's what you get pleasure from, not the money you paid for. If you kept that $1,000, you're going to die of starvation. To the rich, money in itself is useless. It is basically a tool, a weapon, and not a possession. But to the poor, it's completely the opposite. The poor sees money as a treasure in itself, as a possession in itself. That would have made sense several thousand years ago when we used silver and gold in exchange. They had value in themselves. But today, all we have is a promissory note. You can't bank on that. And that's why the money of today, a great economist defined it as something that only serves you or gives you pleasure when you part with it. Think about it. If you have all the money you have no pleasure, no satisfaction until you start separating yourself with that money. You go to the restaurant, you give some of it away, and then you get food. You go to the barber shop, you give some of it away. You get to the taxi, you give some of it away. So you get the value and the service only when you part with it. So the money in itself is useless. And this is why the rich focus more on investing, because in investing you exchange that money, which is just a promise, for the real tangible stuff, maybe a piece of property, maybe an industry, a car, a taxi on the road generating income. Whereas the poor is satisfied knowing that they have maybe $2,000 in their savings account. Not that you shouldn't have savings account, of course, but how about you saving in something that is generating value? Of course, there is risk, and that's your responsibility to manage that risk. So meanwhile, the rich are busy investing the promise to get the real tangible thing. The poor is busy saving the promise. And like they say, promises are meant to be broken. It's not a covenant. And that's why you can wake up one morning and all your currency has lost value because it was just a promise. Putting it in perspective, if that burger was the last burger in the world, then you realize that $1,000 is not too much to pay for it. As a matter of fact, any amount you pay for it is not still enough for the value of that burger. Turning it the other way around, if you were somewhere not very accessible to burgers and you really had a desire to have one, then it wouldn't really matter how much you're paying because it will never equate to the value of that burger. Time should be the asset you value more. Over and over again, we see people stand on queues for long hours to get something that they could pay a little extra and get it online or with a shorter time wasted. The rich know that the real asset is time, and when you lose time, you can never gain it back. But when the poor sees money, they are afraid to lose it, whereas the real thing they are losing and which they can never make up back for it, it's time. And of course, you know that. Every day, people get killed for pathetic sums or lose more valuable things for miserable amounts of money they are trying to gain, losing family, losing children, simply because they are missing where the real value is. If you ask the man who died fighting over an extra $5 or $20, if you rewind time and ask him if he's going to give anything, the most valuable thing in his life in exchange to have a chance to live again, I'm sure he's definitely going to do that. And we actually see some passage where in scripture where we hear someone is going to give anything for their life. There is nothing more valuable than your life, than your time. And this is how the rich think that the poor don't. An interesting fact is that did you know that the prices you pay for products and services most of the time are completely arbitrary? So the stuff you buy and you think you're paying a fair deal for, those prices are completely arbitrary. They are not even a direct representation of the value of the product because, like I said, the product, the service is always valuable and more valuable than any amount you can pay for it. Many times companies have to increase the price of their product just so that the mind of the consumer can better appreciate and buy it. They say it's a luxury product. If we make it too cheap, the people will think it's not good, it's not real, it's not the best. And so we have to add the amount just so that this person can be comfortable buying. Wow, that's interesting. So you're not really paying the value. You're just paying what the know your mind would deem acceptable for that product. So stop seeing money. Start seeing the value you're getting for the service or the product. And if you're going to give everything you have to get something valuable, then that thing is always more valuable than what you're getting. And with this mindset, you can invest more, you can give more, you can release more. And that is the principle for growing in wealth. So in the end, money is useless, and the real price of anything is what you're willing to pay for it. And so that's the same thing we see in scripture with salvation. What was God willing to pay for you, to pay for me? And that was his own self and his son Jesus Christ. Now you may think you're not that valuable. You may think you don't even love yourself. You have a low self-esteem. But that's not the value God places on you. It's not what you think. It's not the money. It's the value he places on you. And you're that important. You are worth God. And that is just so beautiful that Jesus had to die for us. Now there is no love greater than that, and that's why God's love is so beautiful. So money answers all things. We see that from the wise King Solomon, meaning many times I've found myself having to change people's minds by paying extra. Hey, before you say that is bribery or that's corruption, no, that's not the case. I could be with the cab driver and I tell him, take me to this destination, it's late. And he doesn't want to go there because of the time. And I tell him I'm paying double or triple. And suddenly he reconsiders because perhaps now I'm covering the risks he's willing to take for the job. But to me, the value of finally getting to my destination safely is more important than any amount I can pay him, whether it's 10 times or it's 20 times, because without that cab driver there, I would stand at that spot forever. Always place the value of the product, the value of the service, the value of things above money, and you're right on course to becoming very wealthy. What's valuable? Your family, your kids, your friends, your life, your salvation, people around you, the service you're getting. Have you ever made someone reconsider on offering you a service or a product because you change and increase the value of that service by increasing the amount? Certainly, this is different from bribery. I'm not saying if you've corrupted someone, you should tell us in the comments below. But feel free to express yourself in the comments below. We'll be happy to learn and to share with you and everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the likes button if you enjoyed this video and share with your friends. I'm Bodas Jumese from Wisdom for Dominion. See you in our next video.